everyone. Willa's with me today. Say hi, Willa. Hi, Willa. Oh. All right, lay back down. Hi, everyone. So welcome to all of my new subscribers and my originals that were on there before I even decided to even do this thing. I hadn't looked in a while, and now there's 190 of you, so that's incredible. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I appreciate it. Today is going to be a little bit different of a video. So I actually went to a fiber festival yesterday in the Muskoka area, which is known for being where everybody from the city and cottagers, they all go for the summer. It's a very sought after area. It's very beautiful. It's made up of many, many small towns and lakes and rivers, and it's just beautiful. But I went to the Muskoka Fibre Fest, I believe is what it was called, and it was in Bracebridge, Ontario. That's probably about 2 hours away from me in Oshawa. So I didn't think it was too bad, so I woke up early. I left here at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I took a little trip, and I was there when it opened. I first found out about this festival 2 years ago when I went. We couldn't go last year because we were obviously on lockdown here in Ontario. But the year before that is when I actually went the very first time to the Muskoka Festival. And it's relatively small in the sense of Fiber Fest, right? It's not like the largest one. It's not like a Rhinebeck in New York, most definitely not. But what it does do is it showcases a lot of local talent. Whether you're a spinner, you know, a knitter, a crocheter, there's something there for everybody. There was even felting, which I thought was interesting. So I don't have any footage. I didn't film anything because I don't know how to edit. So I didn't put anything in there on that. But it was an interesting thing to go to, and I was really impressed. I probably overspent, but it's been a while since I've been to one of those. So there's a couple people that I don't typically get to see. I know one didn't even sell online before the pandemic, and now she does sell online, which I just found out, which blew my mind, because if I'd known that, I probably would have shopped from her before this, but I couldn't remember her full name because I'd only seen her at the festivals, and I only bought stitch markers from her previously. I never got around to purchasing her yarn, even though it's beautiful. So she's coming up on here too. Yeah, it was interesting to see finally something to go out to, because Ontario's been in lockdown for so long, and we've been in our stage 3 for a while now, and they actually are allowing certain events to go on, and it was nice to get out. So I had a good time. So with that, I'm just going to show you what I got, because not only did I go to the Fiber Festival, I actually went to a local yarn store that was there, because when I was standing in the lineup, one of the ladies is like, yeah, so they have a yarn store here in town that's also got a couple vendors too. So as soon as I got out of the Fiber Festival, I googled this yarn store, and I love it. If I lived closer, I would be in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Okay, let's get on to it. So I'm trying to get everything in order here of who I went to first. Trying to. It's a lot. Yeah, okay. So the first place I went was that one store I was telling you about, where I bought the stitch markers, and it's called, I don't know if you can see that, South Beach Yarn Company. I'm not sure where she's out of, but she does have a website. I don't know if you can see that. I'll link everybody down below either way. So South Beach Yarn Co. Well, she wasn't the first one. She was the second one, but let's just go with her. I'll do the other one next. So this one here, so I actually got some of her yarn this time. I'm just gonna move you back. so you can see. Okay, so this is the yarn I got. So this is called Peacock. It's hand dyed in Southampton, Ontario. Here we go. It is a fingering weight, 100 grams, 438 yards skein of yarn. It's 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. Oh yeah, there you go. A little bit of sparkle. But it's so soft, you wouldn't even know that there's stellina in here. So what I did is, she actually had some minis in the sparkle base. So I got this teal because it matched one of the teal. You can't really tell here, but it matched one of the teals inside. So I ended up picking up 2 of those to make something with. And then I got 2 of these, the white, the natural, she calls it. Yeah, it's gonna blow it out. Sorry guys, yeah. So I got 2 of those. So that'll make a beautiful shawl of at some point. It's so pretty. So that was my first purchase. Sorry, that was my second purchase, let's be honest. So the first one was actually this company. I'd never heard of them before. They're a small batch dyer, hand dyed, hand spun in Hamilton, Ontario. It's called Stitch Noir. Oh, what are you doing? Are you gonna get up, or what are you gonna do? You want down? Here, get down. Hold on. I don't know how to pause and edit it, so bear with me here. There we go. Okay, so back to it. This one's called Stitch Noir. Okay, so this one is a hand-dyed fingering weight yarn. It's 100% superwash merino single ply. I love my single plies. Single ply Malabrigo Makita is my all-time favorite yarn. This is close. This actually is what pulled me into this particular store, was this base. This is 440 yards, 115 grams. I'll link her down in the description box when we're done here, so that you guys can go check her out. But the color is called Spider Bite, and I thought it was so interesting. So it's got like, it's mostly black, but it has like a purple undertone, and that red that's mixed in right here, it's all it's not sparkly. What am I talking about? It's partially speckled. So I thought that was beautiful. So I'm gonna try this brand. Never tried this brand before, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I thought it was really cute. It's pretty. Okay. All right. Now, the other thing that I got, and this festival is actually the first place I found out about her, is Heather from Howling Hills Studio. What she does is she makes stitch markers and she makes shawl cuffs. What these are, they're recycled or brand new belts that she finds. Her and her husband break them apart and make shawl cuffs out of them. I love my shawls, but I hate shawl pins. I can't figure out a shawl pin to save my life, and it never looks good. So when I found these shawl cuffs, I thought they were the best thing since sliced bread, and I love them. So there's her tag, Howling Hills Studio. Okay. I can't remember where she's from, but I'm pretty sure she's from around that area. I'll link everything for her down below. But all it is just, it's a belt, like it's a belt, you see? And it has like the little buckle, and it not unzips, but you know, and then what you do is when you get your shawl all around you, I probably should have brought one to show, but you get it all around you, and then literally you just put the one part and you hook the shawl cuff around it, and then it kind of sits there. So it's like a shawl pin, but it holds it a bit different. So of course I think I have probably 6 of these now, but I saw her And I saw this one and I thought it was really cute, and I like to support her because she's actually pretty amazing. She has an Etsy store as well, and I do recommend her if you're like me and you have a hard time with the shawl pins. So that was my third purchase. Sorry, I gotta get a drink. Chai tea. All right, next one. This one here, I actually had to walk around and I came back to it and I walked around one more time because the way it was is you had to follow the arrows. So you had to go all the way around, and if you saw something you wanted, you had to come all the way back around. So that's what I did with this. Now this is from a company I'd never heard of before, Birchgrove Farms. Doesn't say where they're from, but this is a hand spun yarn, and the wool was grown by Abby. So I'll show you Abby. That's Abby, the sheep. Blended with yak and alpaca. It's hand dyed, hand blended, and hand spun. So that's like the three all in a row that makes it beautiful. It's 202 yards, 106 grams. Not certain what I'm gonna make with it. It's kind of borderline on a light, but this is it, guys. Hello. Like, it is stunning. Do you see that? It is a hand spun with the pinks and the grays. This one's more of a brown. It's kind of blown it out, but it's a brown mixed in. Pinks and browns together to me are so pretty. But I mean, look at that. And who can resist Abby? I think that's so cute that they've got the sheep there. So yeah, it's a labor of love. She only had the one skein, but it was so pretty. So if anyone knows what I can make, it's kind of like, I want to say it goes from like a really heavy fingering to a light 3. I would not say this is a worsted weight. Even at the thickest hand spun part, I don't think it's a worsted weight. So I'm assuming this is probably going to be a cowl or a hat at 202 yards. But it's so pretty. I mean, it still smells like the sheep. So, but yeah. So there's that one. So I thought that was really cute. I literally walked around 3 times and then finally came back and picked it up because it was there. It was that pretty to me. All right, so the last thing I got was on the way out. This is a company that I've heard of before. I actually have a couple of her skeins of yarn. But it's called Songbird Yarn and Fibers. Her tagline is "Where birds meet yarn." Where birds meet yarn. And it's Vicky Ryder. She's from Stratford, Ontario. I don't know if you can see, but there's her card. I'll link everything down below, of course. Her studio's called The Nest, but there's a couple of her other things that she has. You'll see that she dyes based on the bird. So all of her yarns are bird based. So look at this one. So pretty. I can't remember what that one's called. I want to say that's the cockatoo, but I'm not 100% sure, but it's so cute. So basically what she does is each skein of bird inspired yarn generates a $2 donation to Birds Canada for conservation and education. So you get pretty yarn and the birds get our help, a true win-win. So I thought that was really good, and I mean, her interpretation is amazing. Like, it's truly, as she states, it's a labor, well, you're not going to see that, a true labor of love. So it's beautiful. So what I got, I didn't get any of her typical sock yarn, the 75-20, yeah, 75-25. What I ended up getting, because she only had one left, was the MCN Minis. So this is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. It is a fingering weight, and it's a 5 times 25 gram mini set, total of 450 yards. And I got the color Pink Robin. So there's the picture of her pink robin. And this is how she interpreted her yarn. Don't mind all the ends, that might be better there. How pretty is that? And it's like a gradient set. So I just thought that was so pretty. And it was the last one she had of this one. If she had had this in a sock, like a full skein, all dyed together in the MCN, I would have still bought it. But this is so soft. I think this will make a beautiful shawl. It's meant to be, obviously, it's sock yarn, let's be honest. They market it as sock yarn, but it doesn't have to be sock yarn. It can be anything you want it to be. The nylon just makes it a little bit more sturdy if you do want to use it for socks, but ultimately I wouldn't wear cashmere socks. Just me personally, I wouldn't do that. So this is probably going to be a shawl of some sort. I don't know what shawl, but it's beautiful and it's going to be something. So amazing. So Songbird fibers. All right. So the only other two things I bought from the festival, the other company that I learned about was from this place. No, I learned about him originally from the Kitchener Fiber Fest, but he's been at a couple fiber shows around our area, so I've seen him a couple times, and probably 90% of the books that I own are from him. He's from a company by the name of Grantham Books. Very nice guy. His name's Bert. Basically, he gets a whole bunch of overstock, I don't know where he gets them from, but he gets these books of knitting and crocheting and all those other types of crafts that you can do. Felting, I think he has. There's a couple others. But he has so many books that are either out of print or slightly damaged or something like that. And so because I have 90% of the knitting books, because that's where, back in the day when we actually had Fiber Fest, that's what I did. I didn't start crocheting until last March, right? March of 2020. So when I went this time, I found a couple crochet books. So this is the first one I got. It's called Modern Bohemian Crochet. And it's got quite a few nice things in it. One of the big things I liked was that shirt. I don't know if you can see it. We have the glare. I did like that shirt, however, I didn't realize, because I didn't look in the place, that it had that type of a back. Still doable, but not sure if that's for me. So I saw that. There's one other one that I loved. Here it is. I love this. It's just stunning, stunning. That one's in an alpaca. I just think it's pretty. So that's the first book I got, and he charged, it was $12. It was relatively cheap for a brand new book. It's never been used. It's great. Okay, and then the last book I got was Continuous Crochet, and this one is by Kristen Ondal. So I thought that was cute, and of course the sweater on the top, on the cover, is what drew me in. I will not be making it in that yarn, because this is the Road to China something or other. Let me see if I can find it. The Fiber Company Road to China Light. It is so expensive. It's basically baby alpaca, silk, camel, and cashmere all in one yarn. And it's a 2-weight fine. And you need 7 hanks of it. Not gonna happen. But it would be beautiful in another type of yarn, for sure. Anybody who knows Kristen Omdahl knows she has beautiful designs. this one's no different. It's stacked with some very, very cool things. Like, I love that vest. I really like that. I don't think I do it in those colors, but I do like that vest. So yeah, so I got two new books. I thought it was pretty good. I probably won't see this gentleman now again till next year. So, oh, I didn't show you guys. This is a shirt that I made. It is in brushed alpaca silk from Drops. The pattern is also from Drops, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to remember it. If I remember it, I'll try to put it down below for you. Now, the other yarn store that I went to was called, it's in the box, in the bag. No, it's a big bag. Okay, so this store is called the Muskoka Yarn Connection. And it's a beautiful store, like, beautiful store. She is in Bracebridge, and I'll link all of her information below. But when I went in, I wasn't anticipating really buying anything. I just wanted to take a look, see what was there. And it was literally, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, I actually messaged Jan from the Wool Queen with a picture of this yarn from a brand named Katia called Yoga. And I loved it. It was cotton merino and polyamide. And the thing with Katia is you have to be a like, you buy directly from Katia, or you have to go through this other distributor, which Jan doesn't use. So she wasn't able to get me the yarn, and she sent me to another website, but they don't carry it. I called, and they had no intentions of getting it. They weren't sure if it was brand new, but it is a brand new yarn. So I did find that out. So anyway, I walked into the store, I walked around, I picked up some Manos del Uruguay, and then I walked around a bit more, and then the color caught my eye. And I was like, that looks like the Yoga yarn. Sure enough, guess who had the Yoga yarn? And guess who had enough of sweater quantity so I could make a sweater? This store. So anyway, this is Katia. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. The light's gonna probably drown it out. But anyway, you can see the color. Isn't that pretty? It is so soft. I don't typically go towards these variegated, stripy kind of colors, but teals, purples, grays, and whites, yes please, so pretty. So I'll tell you about it. So it's from the brand Katia. It's from their concept line. It's Yoga. It's colored 209 if anyone wants to look it up. It is 45% cotton, 42% virgin merino wool, and then 13% polyamide. So the polyamide is also what makes it really, really soft. It is 218 grams for 218 yards for 50 grams, which is pretty darn good for, they're gonna call this this is a worsted weight. Yeah, it's a worsted weight. So I'm gonna say you could probably knit this a bit different or crochet it a bit different. I don't agree with their needle size, but anyway, they're saying that it should be knitting needles 4 to 5 millimeters. Not sure. And they're saying the crochet hook can be anywhere from a 3.5 to a 4, which leads me to believe this is more on the light side. I kind of tend to agree. I think this is probably a lightweight or a light worsted. So I've talked about the worsted and the lightweight worsted and all that before, briefly. Basically what that is it just means that when you're stitching it up, a typical DK weight light 3 4-inch swatch knitted would be 22 stitches to 4 inches across, and typically 28 rows up and down. So what they're saying is within that 4 inches, that's what you get. A light worsted is 21 stitches to 4 inches across and can be anywhere from 26 to 28 rows. Bordering on the next one would be 20 stitches. Again, that's a light worsted. When you start getting into 19 stitches, 18 stitches, 17 stitches, that's more of the worsted weight line, and they're saying this one should be 17 stitches to 23 rows. I think they might be fibbing. I would knit this up like I would knit up my Drop Sky. I would knit this probably to a 21 stitch gauge, which is kind of what I'm planning to do with this. I have a sweater in mind for it. The brand new Drops line, they started releasing their patterns. So yeah, I have a plan for this, but I have 8 balls of it, so I have 1,600 yards. I figured that'll be enough to make a sweater. So regardless of whether I get it to a DK weight gauge or I use it as a worsted weight gauge, I got enough yarn. Because I buy sweater quantities, always. Especially for that type of stuff. So yeah, that's my big bag from the Muskoka Yarn Connection. Yeah, and the only other thing I got, I took a trip to Peterborough, and I went to Needles in the Hay, which is a Peterborough store. I don't typically go there because they really specialize in, what's it called? Now I'm gonna like totally lose my track of mind, but Brooklyn Tweed, and I find that line very expensive. It's beautiful, but I find it very expensive for what it is. If you like pure wool, you'll love that, but I don't go there too often. But she started to carry a couple things that I loved, and she did a podcast recently where she showed some new Makita yarn, and she typically didn't carry Makita before. And this was based off, she told me it was like the Fairy Tale collection, but I'm not certain. But this color is Makita in the color Ursula. And there it is. It's not like stunning. It's pretty spot on Ursula from The Little Mermaid, the villain from The Little Mermaid. So pretty, and it's so soft. It's single ply, Malabrigo, Makita, you know, it's my favorite. It's the same type as this one, the Stitch Noir. So I got that. And then the last thing I got was this Tosh Merino Light from Madeline Tosh. And it's Madeline Tosh plus Shibui knits. So Shibui is very expensive, right? So basically Shibui did the mohair color in this so that you could compare them or match them together, sorry. And then Madeline Tosh did the single ply merinos. But isn't this beautiful? So this skein of yarn typically was $40. $40 for 420 yards. So I was like, no, not worth $40. So I saw it on their website, and then when I went in today, the girl's like, hey, guess what? It's on for $20 a skein. $20. $20. So this is in the color Ironwood. I got 1, 2, and 3. I got 3 to make a sweater because I have other single ply that I can compare to do like a contrasting color. So isn't that pretty? I would never have bought this before. This amount of yarn, this would have been $120 worth of yarn right here. No, I wouldn't have spent that. As beautiful as Madeline Tosh is, it's not worth it for $40 a skein. It's not. And I'm a self-proclaimed yarn snob, and I wouldn't pay $40 a skein. Not gonna happen. So that's what I got from there. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I got. I think that's good enough. Anyway, all right, well, thank you so much. I will document everything down below. I appreciate your time and any new subscribers that did come. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and thumbs up the video if you liked what you saw. All right, take care, everybody. Have yourself a wonderful day, and until next time, take care, and shh, don't tell the boyfriend I bought more yarn.